There was a lot of humorous moments. But I remember the first Christmas, I think I told it in my journal. He was out milking that Christmas morning. I had made him a pair of socks. I had knit them myself. He wore boots a lot, you know, to go out in water. Mm-hmm. And these woolen socks were just the things that he needed to go in his boots. So I knit these socks, and I didn't let him know that I was doing it. And then I wrapped them up and put them on the breakfast table by his plate. And when he came in for milking, he sat down. First of all, the day before, I had asked him if he was going to have a Christmas tree. And he said, "Why? We don't need a Christmas tree, it's just us two." And all the other families had Christmas trees, and we were the only one in the neighborhood that didn't have a Christmas tree. And that bothered me, you know, I didn't like that. Anyway, I put these socks by his plate, and I had no presents. There wasn't anything. He hadn't mentioned Christmas at all. And I was feeling so homesick, you know, because however miserable we were at home, there was always Christmas. So when he came in and sat down at the table, he looked at that parcel and he said, "What's this?" And I said, "Well, open it and see." So he opened it, and there was this pair of woolen socks. And he looked at it, and then he looked at me, and he said, "What'd you do that for?" He felt silly, you know. I said, "Well, it's Christmas, and I wanted you to have a Christmas present." And he was so angry. He was really angry with himself, but he... So that day we were invited to dinner up to the Telluride to Thompson's. And when we got there, they had a Christmas tree, and the little boys had almost more presents than they needed, you know. But Lillian had a beautiful handkerchief wrapped up in a small package and under the tree, and she gave it to me. She said, "It isn't very much. If I'd known what I know now, that I would have got you something else, but this is to show you that we appreciate your coming for Christmas." And when I looked at that handkerchief, I started to cry. I was so full, you know, and Orville felt sillier and sillier. Lillian put her arms around me and she said, "I know how you feel." She said, "I've felt the same way some Christmases." So she turned to Orville and she said, "You should have bought her a Christmas present." And he said, "Well, I never thought about it." I guess he and his mother had never got out of the habit, you know, of celebrating Christmases. And so I decided that was the last Christmas that we wouldn't have a Christmas tree. And having a baby coming, I realized that Christmas that I was pregnant, you know, because I felt squeezy when I started to eat. But I wasn't sure that's what it was, but later on. But I did say to him after, I said, "There's never going to be another Christmas like this." So he said, "Okay," and there never was. He was as enthusiastic about Christmas as I was, or more so. He used to take the children out to get a Christmas tree, and he was always the one that chose it. But he would always ask our opinion, but I always brought the one he liked. And it was always the ugliest tree that he could find. It reached to the ceiling. And it was always big and bushy, you know, and he didn't get one of those slender ones like the other neighbors had. He always had the bushiest one and the tallest one he could find. And not the well-shaped one either. But I accepted it because it was a Christmas tree.